Insurance Group. I am Miss T. Today, learn with me the difference between whole versus term life. Now, these two, I don't know why, but they usually confuse people on the exam. Whole life versus term life. So when we think about whole life, keyword whole. This is a life insurance policy that lasts a person's entire life. It is usually more expensive than term. And it has a cash value. We'll talk about what that means. But whole life lasts a person's entire whole life, which is why it's more expensive, because not only does it last a person's whole life, but it also accrues cash value over time. So that means there's this type of investment component, that there's this rate of return on top of all the premium payments that are made into a whole life policy. You get an additional bonus of having some type of cash value added on to your whole life insurance policy. So, whole life lasts a person's whole life. And there's different types of whole life policies that we will discuss later on in other videos. But for right now, I just want you to focus on whole life policy lasts a person's entire life. It is more expensive and it has a cash value. Now, when we think about term life, I want you to think temporary. This is a term or a sentence, a short period of time. This is a life insurance policy that only lasts a short period of time. It's temporary, okay? It usually lasts, people can purchase a 10, 15, 20, 25-year term life policy, but it is temporary. After that period of time is over with, that policy is no longer valuable. It no longer exists. So if I buy a 10-year term life policy, after 10 years, it's gone. I would have to purchase a new term life policy or purchase a whole life policy. Now, when we think about term life, usually it is less expensive. Usually less expensive, and there is no cash value. Usually younger people tend to go for the term life because the younger you are, the more healthier you are, the cheaper your life insurance policies will usually be. So term life tends to be more attractive to younger people in their younger years, because a lot of times we don't have as much money being young as we will once we get older and get into our careers. But if I'm 20 years old, I want the least expensive policy I can get. So typically, we'll buy a term life policy, will last me 25 years. You may or may not live for 25 years, so people tend to find term life attractive. But there's no cash value. There's no additional benefits to a term life policy. And see, in the future, once, just say 10 years is up after your term life policy, now you're 10 years older, which means your next term life policy or your whole life policy will be even more expensive, because you're not as young anymore and you may not be as healthy. So you have to be careful with term life policies. But like I said, they only last a short period of time. They tend to be less expensive and they have no cash value. Now, when you look at this little pie, I want you to think the whole circle, that's your whole life. Think of that being a whole life policy. We take a piece of that pie, a little slice, that's your term out of your whole life, right? Just a short period of time. I'm gonna take 10, 15, 20 years out of my whole life and get a term life policy. Or I can just pay that one time premium, whatever they come up with at the age of 20, I'm paying $50 a month for the rest of my life if I decide to get a whole life policy. So, like I said, the main difference, a whole life lasts your whole life. It is more expensive, has cash value. They will ask you on the exam, which policy has a cash value? It is whole life. Because it's your whole life, there's additional benefits. They're going to give you that extra benefit for having a whole life policy. They're going to ask you which policy does not have a cash value or is less expensive. That is your term life. It is temporary, short period of time. All right, guys, I hope this helps you differentiate between whole life and term life. We're here for you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you next time. Happy passing!